Hi, it's Pat Duckworth, the author of Hot Women Rock, How to Discover Your Midlife Entrepreneurial Mojo. And my guest today, I met in Las Vegas. He's from the UK, but I had to go all the way to America just to meet him. And I said, this is my third male guest. You know, guys are like buses. You interview one and then three come along. Anyway, so he's an expert in business strategy. He's the founder of Strategic Brilliance Services, educating entrepreneurs all about the importance of strategy. He's an author of the best-selling Power to Succeed. He works with change makers of the world, the speakers, the authors, the coaches, the trainers. He's the commercial director of Pony Express Speakers Club Limited, one of the UK's leading public speaking training companies. He's worked in the USA, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and the UK, and currently he's based in London. But this is for our American viewers. He's launching in the USA in October 2017. So it's watch out USA. Elliot Kay is coming. Yay. Hi, Elliot.
Hi, it's just my hey, dance. Yay. I'm coming.
Yeah, it's really good to see you, Elliot. I want to know how you started out. What did you do when you first left education?
Okay, good question. First of all, I'd like to volunteer that I'm having a bad hair day. And I didn't expect to have a bad hair day, but apparently by looking at the screen, I can see I am. So I acknowledge, I accept, I embrace, and I love my bad hair day. And actually, I've got a really important meeting later, so I really need to sort this out. Let me dial back. So actually, my journey started, I'll start when I was 21. I don't want to go back to all the time I was born. But at the age of 21, I actually decided, against all odds, that I wanted to become a professional dancer. I had everything going against me. I was 21, I'd never danced, and I was straight. So, you know, all the components were wrong. I had long hair, big glasses. And then what I decided to do is I decided to pursue my dream at the time, which was to be a professional dancer. And from there, I went to Northern School of Contemporary Dance here in the UK, in Leeds. And I actually got a scholarship for 2 years because my attitude and my dedication was so spot on that they waived the fees. And I actually started my journey as a dancer, which actually instilled a lot of discipline in me, in timekeeping, just hard work, you know, the ability to repeat things, do the basics right. I think it instilled in me the ability to accept feedback, because if there's one industry, you know, that you're always kind of getting feedback from, well, most industries, but you're kind of always exposed to it. It's the performing arts, if you like. Then I got injured. I toured the UK, the US. No, I didn't. I did the UK. I did Germany. I did Portugal. I worked in the Middle East. And then I got injured, not in that order, by the way. And then I had to pursue different paths. I ended up as a trainer. I don't know if you guys remember here in the UK, Bid Up TV, Price Drop TV. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I was a call center trainer. I wasn't actually a trainer for the TV show. And then from then I ended up moving to another training company, becoming the national trainer for Sky, TalkTalk, KFC, Pizza Hut, Waterstones, and actually designing their trainings. And from there, I was a bit unsatisfied, which a lot of us come into. Like, I was unfulfilled. I was like, okay, what's my next level? What's my next challenge? And then I discovered coaching. And I wanted to do that actually to become a better trainer. So I didn't actually set out to be a coach, like I guess most coaches. And I don't coach anymore, which we'll come to in a minute. And so I started to study coaching, and part of my qualification was to get, I had to work with 15 people, because I kind of did the old school training of coaching. Besides, you know, like these days you attend the weekend, they go, congratulations, you're a coach. I actually did 15 people before I could get qualified. And actually it was the third session with this one girl called Jan, and it changed everything. She literally just said this line to me, and I just had this epiphany. And the line was, I've learned to be happy to lose weight and not lose weight to be happy. That was it, right?
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my God. I was standing there in my flat in Acton, leaning on my chair. I remember I got these goosebumps, like, oh my God, this is what I need to be doing with the rest of my life. So I upped my game as a coach. 2 years later, I then left the company. I became a subcontractor, and I started to build the business. I never realized I was an entrepreneur, because I always thought that an entrepreneur was something that someone told you and went, congratulations, you are now an entrepreneur. Almost like a knighthood, right? They go, hey, congratulations. So I didn't realize this. But I'd always had an entrepreneurial streak ever since I was young. I was always looking for, what can I do differently? How can I be different? How can I create this? How can I create that? And then I pursued the path of building a coaching business. And then in 2011, in January 2011, like many entrepreneurs, it all came crumbling down on me. I pretty much lost all but one of my clients. I fell into dispute with a subcontracting company that I was working for. The property I invested in Cardiff I couldn't sustain it anymore after 2008. And the bank asked for their money back. And a girl I was madly in love with decided that she'd rather get a job with a billionaire than spend time with me. So it was quite a turning point in my life January 2011.
Yeah. How old were you then, Elliot? Because you're so young. I mean, I can't believe you've done all this stuff.
I know. Clearly, I'm only 21 now. So it was back in, was that 7 years ago? What was I actually? That's a good question. How old was I 7 years ago? I was 30. Got to do maths now. 34? Is that right? Yeah, 34.
It can't be right. But anyway, carry on.
I know. You're going by my looks and my great hair, right? Yeah. So there I found myself for the first time. No, I'd always had issues with money, actually. I did have challenges as I was growing up with that, and we can go into that if you want. So then it was real, because I did everything the industry tells you to do. I was playing big, I was hopeful, I was setting goals, I was driven. Yeah, I found myself all collapsed, standing on a cliff in Australia, really, really very depressed. Suicidal thoughts were going on, obviously standing on a big cliff, looking down at the sea. It's only a step forward, which I didn't take, thank God. And then I came back to the UK absolutely broke. I had no money, no income. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And therefore starts the rebuilding process. Now, of course, it starts with rebuilding inside. And I was aware of that, having been a coach. One of my biggest frustration was, how did I end up here as a coach? Because I knew all the tools, right? I knew all this stuff. I knew all these things that I help other clients get out of their own way and deal with their own limiting belief, and NLP and EFT and hypnotherapy and 7 steps to creating lasting change. And I knew all this stuff, but here I stand a broken man. And so I think a lot of coaches also put a lot of pressure on themselves because they think they can't be going through this stuff. Having been through that stuff, I think it made it worse.
Yeah.
Because we are supposed to be superhuman human beings, who can just do things, right? Which is unrealistic. So when I got back is when I really, really started to rebuild. And I went inside and I found that for me at the time, traditional coaching wasn't working for me. So I actually devised a whole of my own process, which I don't do anymore, called the Confidence Breakthrough. And it's 7 steps to breaking through and really having that confidence you desire. But it's that peaceful confidence. It's that inner certainty. It's not that, I'm confident, look at me, well, yeah. It's the ability to really deal with challenge, but in a composed manner. It's the ability to stand your ground, but not in a shouty, yelly way, right?
Were you being coached yourself at this stage, or were you coaching yourself?
Well, I was both. I had a coach at the time, and actually what she taught me was the methodology of questioning versus, just change your state, do this. Yeah. It's lots of the what if, it could be this way, and doing the whole, do you know access consciousness?
Yeah.
Yeah, so doing the whole access consciousness, all that doesn't show up. I just try and create it all, right, wrong, all that. And I was doing that daily, even though I was like, you know what, I don't know what this actually is doing. But I found it started to work, and so I stopped questioning it, and I still do it today. What would it take for today to be fun? What would it take to attract more clients? All this kind of stuff. So I still do it. It's deeply embedded in me. So I'm still having a coach. And I was coaching myself because I just felt things weren't for me going, or maybe the combination works. I never thought about it that way. Yeah. And so I went inside. I dealt with, when I was younger, I was sexually abused, and I thought I dealt with that. So I went and dealt with that. And I had to deal with my relationship with love, and I had to deal with my relationship with money. Because everything was apparent, right? Everything was there as feedback right in front of me. And the thing is, I wasn't willing to be a failure. It's that whole entrepreneurial can't fail. Well, I did. I accepted that. But I wasn't willing to be one of those guys that gave up. I was offered 3 jobs when I came back, very well paid. But I said, no, I need to give this 100%.
Mm.
And that's where the real kind of, for me, that's where it really started. So that year, so now we're into, towards the end of 2011, I relaunched my seminars. And towards the end of that year, I relaunched what is called Power to Succeed, which is now the name of my book. And that took off really quickly because I dealt with a lot of my stuff by 2012, which is when Power to Succeed started to take off. And I actually went personal bankruptcy. I declared personal bankruptcy. I gave the tract to the bank and went, you keep it, it's yours, enjoy it. Which was greatly received, of course, by the people that I owed money to. But then things started to really change. But the key thing that changed, and you've heard me speak about this in Vegas, is for me, I started to be strategic about everything. When I came back and it was all broken and I was doing the coaching stuff, I started to really look at what is it that makes businesses tick? What is it that keeps longevity in businesses? And the shift was me as I stopped being a coach, I stopped being a speaker, and I started to really behave and act like a business owner. And that changed everything. And I did everything strategically. And the biggest proof that strategy works, if anyone has a doubt, all you need to do is see my wife. Because there's no way I would have got such a beautiful wife if I didn't have a good strategy.
And a beautiful daughter.
And now a beautiful daughter. Yes, you see, I got so passionate that I actually knocked my earphones out of my ear. And a beautiful daughter who's now 9 months. But at the time when I met her, we didn't have a daughter.
So yeah. The bad hair day might be daughter related because you get sticky fingers in your hair.
I could blame it on my daughter. I kind of was tempted to say, oh, she's just had breakfast, but I can't. I didn't notice I had a bad hair day until we actually jumped on Zoom. Like, oh my God, my hair's really bad. Like, what's going on here? No, I'm not going to blame my daughter. No, I'm going to take responsibility here.
So now, who are the sort of clients that you normally work with?
Yeah, so I've transitioned. So what I did with Power to Succeed, that used to be a year program where I worked with businesses to give them people to give them the confidence. So it was personal confidence, but a lot of people ended up attracting people that wanted to run businesses. And I gave them confidence to do it. Well, I didn't give them the confidence. You know what I mean? Yeah. The tools, the methodology. And then 2 years ago, we shifted out of that. I kind of watched the market. I'm not an early adopter when it comes to marketing. I'm a sit back, watch, observe. And I saw lots of coaches coming through, and I sat there and was like, okay, where's my passion here? What do I really want for the next 5-10 years? And I said, actually, do you know what? I want to step out of being a coach and work with the coaches so they don't have to experience what I went through and teach them strategy, which, by the way, we're shifting the name now, just so you know, Pat. Oh. We're shifting it to business creation and succession planning.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I like the creation mindset. You know, people talk about having a business, which is that whole acquisition mindset, but creating a business is so much more expansive. So I've just approved it. There we go. How can it fail?
Excellent. I will let the team know that Pat Duckworth has approved business creation and succession planning.
It has a hot women's stamp on it now.
Yes. My work here is done. So back to your question is I started to decide, okay, I want to work with the change makers and I want to help them build sustainable businesses because they don't have to go through what I went through. But also I watched the industry, and a lot of coaches are struggling. They're struggling to make money. They're struggling. They're time poor. They're struggling to make the impact. And still there's a lot of stuff that goes inside, like who am I to charge this, or who am I to charge money if I don't have the experience, and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I've been there. I've done it. I've done it now 3 times. I've built 3 businesses. You know, what I do works. Listen, there's another level for me. Of course there is, and I don't pretend to know it all, but I do know a fair amount, you know. And so I shifted. And so I launched Strategic Brilliance Services as a result of that. The need for coaches, speakers, trainers, consultants, in that order, to be and act and behave and invest as business owners. So now I work with mainly those people as listed. I do have a consultative advisory approach or a mentorship approach. I don't coach because, Pat, you and I know that not everybody knows the answer. And it doesn't matter what we ask them from within. It's like, oh, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Like, it's still not going to come out. You know, it's like, I don't know. And I remember actually when I came back from Australia, I met a strategist. I worked with him for years. He's a very good friend of mine now. And I sat there with him at that meeting when I said, you know, when we were talking about working together. And he set me a challenge, and his challenge was, look, I want to work with you. I don't normally work with people like you. You're a bit too small for me, but look, I really like your story. I'd love to help you. His challenge number one was, you got to raise £6,000 in 24 hours if you want to work with me. But I said, look, if I raise the £6,000, promise me this, that you're not going to help me find the answer within you. You're just going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Yes, because I said, I'm fed up of being told, what do you think the answer is? Right? And that's what I needed at the time. Go and do this, go and do this, go and do this. And that's what I do now. So when I work with people, I don't take, of course I've got the empathy and I still have a coachy angle, but I'm like, look, here's what we need to do. Go build this, go build this, go build this. Listen to me, it works. You don't listen to me, you'll end up back where you are. And I think that's one of the challenges with the industry we're in, is coaches are such amazing people. Actually, I woke up and thought about this as a post for Facebook. We are, amazing people. But because inherently we're dealing with, I can do this mentality, that can actually get in our way of actually listening to other people doing it. We're dealing with stuff anyway. If you don't know what the tool is to change a radiator, you don't know what the tool is. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you look at the toolbox, I don't know what tool it is, right? You need guidance, right? And I've had normally between 2 to 3 mentors at any time throughout, ever since. I've never had one. Most of them have been with me for years, or I've been with them for years, because loyalty is very important to me. The relationship is very important to me. And of course, I had different coaches come at different times when I've needed different stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's massively helped me.
Excellent. So this is Pat Duckworth talking to Elliot Kay, business strategist. So, I work with a lot of other entrepreneurs, and obviously I'm talking to a lot of other entrepreneurs, and I'm interested in this capability around strategy, because it's probably one of the tools that we don't have a lot of in our toolbox. So what are the capabilities that you need to develop in order to have a good business strategy?
First of all, the capability to act, behave, and do like a business, and stop being a coach, or stop being an entrepreneur, well, you can't stop being an entrepreneur, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more like, as a business, what needs to happen to move our business forward, or to move our entrepreneurial venture forward? The other thing is to lose the capability of being so in love with how good your idea or concept is, and fall in love with your customers' problems or your market's problem, and then look how what you do solves it. And the other thing is a capability to remain flexible and agile. Because if you don't remain flexible and agile, you get left behind. Because nowadays, the industry, the markets, the industries move so quickly that it's very quickly to be left behind, So unless you're willing to be flexible, unless you're willing to listen to your audience, your avatar, your public, and they're going to tell you what they want and what they need, then you might have a very quick successful rise, and you'll have a very quick drop, or you won't just get going. And the people I work with, or end up working with, some people are 0, some up to 1 million. So that's my space. So I do work with coaches and speakers who are, fairly okay, 6-figure plus. For them, it's a different skill set. It's about their operations and about the people strategy for them to grow. Up to 100K, it's about your sales and marketing. Of course, sales and marketing is consistent, but just in terms of where you'd focus, right? So the skill to be flexible, the skill to listen to your audience all the time. Stop loving your product so much that it blinds you, right? Blind love. And the other thing is, don't do a thing unless there's a plan to do it. However, execute the plan and learn the lesson. Because a lot of us jump ahead. Oh, it will work. It won't work. It'll be brilliant. Based on what? I'm a data guy. I'm like, show me the data. Show me that it won't work. Prove to me that it won't work. Oh, I just think so. Well, that's not data, right? That's an opinion decision. Make the opinion based on fact. Like, show me the data. Show me that it will work. Basing it on what? On what research are you showing me that? And that's a key thing that a lot of entrepreneurs and people in our space need to move towards. That's what the big businesses do very, very well. That's why they're there, and they sustain the test of time. The other thing is to really watch the market space you're in continuously. Observe. Look at like the typical thing. What's your competitor that you think's doing better? What is it they're doing better? And stop taking it so personally when someone is doing better than you.
So your top tip for somebody just setting out as an entrepreneur, how do they get started?
Here's what I would do, and I work with people right at the beginning. First things first, and it's very different from the industry teaches, is find, right, I would say the first thing is find who is your ideal client. Start with your ideal client. Start with your ideal client first. Who do you want to work with? Who can you get results for? And who can pay what you want to charge for your product or service? Doesn't matter where you're coming in or going out, okay? It doesn't, if it's a physical product, same. Start with them and make sure the product you want to create serves them. The rest will happen a lot quicker when you're serving a hungry audience versus creating and looking for them. So that would be my top tip. And that's what I say when I sit down for all my consultations, You know, recently I was talking to someone we both met in Vegas. I'm not going to mention any names. I did a strategy session with her. And she's like, look, I'm gonna create a questionnaire, and then I'm going to do a webinar, and then I'm going to do this. I'm like, well, have you tested that that's what your audience actually wants? Have you tested that your audience want webinars? Have you tested that they're open to these questionnaires? She's like, no. I'm like, right, well, go find out what they want, go and create it, then give it to them. And that's the mistake that a lot of people make. So my top tip, top tip, right, is work out who your ideal customer is, find out what they want, then go make it.
Excellent. Great tip. So I'm just going to change gears a bit here because we're getting near the end. How has having your young daughter changed your attitude to your business?
Oh, completely. She's good. You know what? And I didn't predict it. The way it's changed is it used to be about the size of the business I'm going to build and how much and how this, and there is that element to it now, obviously, but the reason for doing it's changed. I'm not saying it was ego driven, but my ambition before Ariella came along was to build a massive business, to make impact and all that. Now, all I'm interested in is being able to be a great father and a great husband. That's it. And I'm building the businesses to support that. What's really great now is Emily, my wife, is much more involved in the business. She's heads of comm. She does a lot of the stuff that I don't like or want to do. And now we're enrolled together. We can grow together and we can go together. But it's just changed everything.
So your next change is that you're going over to the US in October?
Yes, so that's all game on. I am there for a month. I land halfway through September and we come back halfway through October. And I'm going to be running my strategy or stroke business creation succession planning events out there. We're doing 2 tasters and then we're doing my main event, which is strategy intensive, which I need to lure you to, Pat. You need to be coming to that.
It doesn't take much to lure me to California, to be honest.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'll see you on the 14th, 15th of October.
You and I are both members of an amazing organisation called the Evolutionary Business Council, and there are some wonderful members in California, so I just know you're going to have a great time there.
Yeah, and I'll be reaching out. And actually, I spoke to Jill, who we both know.
Yeah.
And she suggested the same. So, yeah, it's very exciting. I've got to say that my life is now split into 2. It's like literally 9 to 5 is UK business. And then from 5 onwards is speaking to everybody in LA and partnerships. But it's exciting. It's fascinating. Also, we've kind of changed things tactically, which feel a lot better. And I feel we're going to get better results now. Look, it's funny because I was talking to someone the other day who's out there. Actually, she's in Dallas. Alicia White, who I believe you know.
Oh, yeah. She's lovely. I really like her.
She is fabulous. And she said, you know what, I completely appreciate and admire you. It's one thing doing an event 100 miles down the road. It's another thing launching across the pond. So it's exciting times. Obviously, I'm still keeping the business in the UK. So we've still got what's going on here in the UK for the next couple of months. We've still got events in November when I'm back. So really going international, really going global, which has always been part of our vision. Part of our mission is to impact 1 million businesses. I don't have a time frame because I don't want that pressure. I just want to know I'm doing it. And that's part of our global vision is to hit 1 million businesses, to get them to be far more strategic and succession plan so they can make more impact in this world. Coaches, speakers, trainers, consultants, and any other business that I work with.
So Elliot, if people in the UK or in America want to know more about you and your events, where can they find you?
Well, what I'll do is I will send you the links on our website, which is elliotk.com. There's the event So what I'll do is I'll send you those links with the events, and then we can have like a USA link, we can have a UK link, but always under the event tabs on elliotk.com. There's always our events and where I'm speaking, not just my events, where I'm talking. And of course, we're going to feature this amazing on our blog. So, you know, you need to be checking out elliotk.com full stop. You know?
Thank you so much, Elliot, for your time this morning. And I'm sure your hair's going to calm down as the day goes on. And all the women watching this are going to so relate to it. They're going to, oh, yeah. Oh, but businesses have bad hair days, don't they?
I think they'll laugh at me and go, you don't know what a bad hair day is. So I think I'll be more laughed at than but, you know, I'm willing to be laughed at.
We're laughing with you. Okay.
That's good. I'm glad. That's nice to hear. Laugh with me, not at me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in America. It's going to be a great event, so everybody in America who's watching, get along there, get your ticket, go and see Elliot. You're going to have fun and you're going to learn so much. It's going to be a great event, and if you're in the UK, grab him before he disappears over the pond. That's the message. Make sure you see him before he goes.
Yeah.
Definitely. So thank you, everybody watching. Keep watching out for more of these amazing interviews with wonderful entrepreneurs. I'll see you next time.